Oh.
You can watch me make SDI cable if you want.
Yeah, we could do that. That's interesting. I don't think. Do you want to do it on camera?
First? Yeah, crimp those ends.
Would you like a chair?
No, it's okay.
All right.
It's pretty exciting.
This is a thing that I had to watch a video on how to do.
Well, I don't know how to do it, so.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh man. So I'm going to sit behind the thing. And I'm going to give Johnny instructions.
This is pretty exciting.
All right.
Beej, was it one of the videos with the same guy who did the missile knows where it isn't speech?
No, it wasn't. Fortunately.
Have you ever seen that?
No, but now I kind of want to.
It's amazing. The missile knows where it isn't is one of the best examples of technical writing I've ever seen. And also there's a deliberate nonsense one called the Turbo Encamulator.
Oh, that one's real good. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Okay, so Johnny, you let me know when you're ready to begin.
Okay, well, I've got the amount of cable I have out and these two tools.
Okay. And do you have ends?
I've got a baggie full of ends here.
Great.
Looks like I've got 3 sets, which is not super useful if I want to make a fourth. I make 2 cables, but I have enough to make 1 cable. So
Good. I was like, oh, I said before the run we need to order more ends.
So I'm making 1 cable.
That's great.
And I would like to make some longer cables, but I have 1 cable that's bad, so I need to replace it. So that's what we'll do.
All right.
Okay, so I've got my cable length and my ends.
All right. So pick up the yellow tool.
Yes.
You're going to notice that near the hinge on the inside of it, there's a blade that sticks out quite a bit.
Yes.
That's the cutter. That's the most efficient cutter anyway. So you're just going to basically pinch the cable between that and cut it.
Just cut it all the way through?
Yeah.
There we go.
Great. Okay. So to dress the ends, you're going to on the front end. Not the interior of the scissors, but the front end of that yellow tool.
Okay, yeah.
That's the part that's going to trim. And so
Got there. Bus stop.
Hey!
So you mean at the narrow end of the?
Yeah, the part that's kind of like the business end, past the. Yeah,
it
okay.
says 7, 11, 9, and 65. I think nope, 59.
59, yeah. So
It's
that's
actually
the 59 and the 6 are referring to RG59 and RG6, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's why the cassette's like that. So the way that I find this works, and I'm really lucky that it works this way, is you're going to put the end of the cable through that. And
from the text side or the other side?
From the text side, because you'll notice there's a black bump on the other side of the tool, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you line up the end of the cable with the black bump.
So just before it would go past that?
Yeah, you need those 2 things. If you put your finger on the end, you could feel how they kind of like bump and make flush is what you want.
Oh, I want to make the end of the cable flush with the end of that bump?
Yeah, with the end of that bump.
Got it.
So feels like there's like quite a bit hanging out past the end, right?
Yeah, but not hanging out past the bump. Got it.
Exactly. So now if you close the handle,
Let it close, yeah?
you let it close and hold it tight. What you're going to want to do is then put your finger through the loop that's on the end of one of the handles.
Yes.
And you're going to want to spin that 2 or 3 times in one direction and then 2 or 3 times back in the other direction. You're going to feel it cutting through on both sides.
Do I need to pinch the narrow ends or just let it do it at its current amount of grip?
I believe once it's in there,
Yep.
that means that if you open it and you let the grip just kind of like the spring of the grip is just closed already.
Yep.
That should be enough so that as you start turning the thing, it will start doing all the cutting action.
Got it. So a couple times one direction and then a couple times the other?
Yeah, 3 or 4 both directions, usually enough. You'll hear it cut.
Yeah, I can definitely hear it cut. Okay, that sounds like that's pretty good actually. It feels like it's all the way through.
Cool. Now without actually loosening it, you can just grab the whole tool and you can just pull that entire end off.
Oh, might need to go a bit more.
Okay.
It felt a bit difficult to pull through. So for those tuning in, what we're making is, this is coax, 75 ohm coax that I'm putting SDI ends on it for, BNC ends on it so that I can use it as SDI cable. There we go, got it.
Okay, so you should have quite a bit of copper exposed. It seems weird. You're going to have the white inner shield covered in the metal foil shielding. So
I
now
guess I could be doing this on the document cam. That would probably, everyone would get a chance to see it.
if you want to move over there, by all means.
Yeah.
How many kilometers of cable have you made this year?
That is actually a good question. It's 650 meters, so less than a kilometer.
Okay.
So I haven't personally made it, obviously, since I don't know how long Beej has shown me how to do this. But, we definitely have, I think it's 650 meters of, actually, I don't know if a little interlude, I actually have some stats for this year that people might find interesting for what we've used this year.
Yeah.
8 cameras, 4 tripods, 1 Genesis, 670 feet, actually. I don't know why it's in feet.
Really?
670 feet of SDI cables. 10 computer monitors. 15 computers. 3 stream decks, those are the things we use for switching. 2 audio mixers, 43 lights, 15 microphones, and 22 power bars.
Are we drawing enough amps to levitate the lunar module in Earth's magnetic
I
field?
think we are. I actually am really surprised we haven't blown any fuses.
And strictly
Well, it's
speaking,
because, I went down to the fuse box when we moved in and replaced all the fuses with rolls of quarters.
Good job. Okay.
some old wrenches I had. Also, that Genesis is not a Genesis, is it? It's a JVC XI.
That's true. I should change my notes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see where we left off. So you've got an open end.
I've got the metal shield visible, so I can see that the white end is inside there, but I'm not actually.
Okay.
I haven't exposed that metal.
Okay.
Off of it.
So now what you want to do, and I should have done this first, but every time I make a cable, I always screw up the first end. So you're going to do it too. You're going to take the crimping the crimping cylinder out of the bag, and you're going to slide that down the cable. And you're going to slide it down. You're going to put the two lines on it. You're going to put that down first.
Sorry, what am I doing?
So in the baggie, there are three pieces.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, I'm just about to peel all this off. So yeah, the metal cylinder. Should I do it with the ridged edge facing the top of the cable or down?
You're gonna feed the ridged edge in first onto the
okay.
cable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's ridges down. I thought it would be the other way, but
I thought so too, weirdly, but it makes it cleaner, crimp the other way.
Okay.
Okay, so that's been fed down. So now on the end of the yellow tool, it is a multi-purpose tool.
Yep.
On the business end of it, on the side, there's a piece of hook and loop that feels like half Velcro, right? It's black.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the underneath side, the Velcro side, yeah.
Yeah. So that's your shielding comb.
Okay.
And you're going to use that to comb all the little tiny metal bits back from the white.
Okay, so I want to peel it back.
Yeah, you want to just brush it nicely so it's nice and even coming all the way back, because you want to try to keep it fairly even around the outside. That's gonna help, I think, establish ground.
Okay, so I'm basically making. Do I want it flat up against the black or just out?
Just out. It doesn't have to be flat against the black. I normally do that, but you can just, as long as you peel it away from the white.
So as long as there's just a thin silver coating around the white now. So should I keep on brushing to get more of this off, or is that all off?
You want to get all the silver off.
Interesting. I got one layer of it off, and now the next layer seems to be.
Oh, is it foil?
It's foil.
Oh, never mind then. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll leave the foil intact. Okay, my bad.
No problem.
Okay, so now you can take the golden tip.
Yep, and put it over across the copper exposed.
Correct. Yeah. It only goes on one way.
Yep, it doesn't go very far, but okay.
So to ensure a proper connection, you need to crimp that the golden end to the copper.
Okay.
And this sucks.
Okay.
This is the worst.
Isn't this how you injured yourself last year?
No, I injured myself last year by the Velcro adhering to the carpet. And when I reached down to grab the tool, I reached inside the tool and touched that big frickin' blade.
Oh.
And sliced open my finger.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So how am I crimping this? Am I using the green crimping tool?
You're going to use the green crimping tool.
How do I release it? It's in the locked position right now.
So if it's locked, you keep squeezing until you feel the ratchet release.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you can close it partially, because the absolutes you're going to see that there's a bunch of different gradations in the crimping die at the very end. Okay. So there's two really small ones that look like they still make like a hole. Because there's one past that does not make a hole at all.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a tiny one and a small one.
Yeah. So the tiny one that
Yes.
still maintains making a hole.
Yes.
Feed that in there. You'll notice that on the gold end, there's a lip around the end that you slid on.
Yeah.
So you want that to be just slightly outside of that because that'll make it too hard to close the crimper.
Okay, so basically there's two levels of thickness here. I want it just covering the thinner layer of. Is that what you're saying?
It's a very thin lip around the open end of the golden tip. Does that actually?
You mean like if we assume that the rest of the golden tip is bullet shaped? You mean I go all the way down to the base of it where
Yes,
the lip is?
that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
it kind of just looked like there was two different levels of thickness. It's actually really hard to see on the camera here.
It is.
I don't know if Boomer, if you want to zoom one level on this, it might help.
This might even be one of those fiddly things that you might just have to let everyone take your word for it.
Yeah, well, no, this camera can zoom pretty far.
Okay.
That's pretty good. I just got to try and keep it in the center of the shot there. That's probably good, because it gets a bit dark when you zoom in too far.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's like feeding it in until it's flush, but then don't have it so the gold is completely flush with the die. Leave some gold on your side of the die. On your hand side of the cable, right?
okay,
Does that make sense?
so basically, don't go right up against don't go right up against the crimping tool. Like leave a little space there,
Yeah.
but make sure it's all the way as tight as it'll go. Right?
Yes.
Okay, I have it through the smallest hole.
Yep.
And there is just like, I would say like a millimeter
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
of space there. Okay, so I'm tightening it up, and how hard do I press on
Until it releases.
Okay, well that made a mess.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's supposed to make a mess.
Does it makes it
Two
feel like
wings on either side?
yeah, it feels like two wings, right?
Yeah, it's sharp. I did maybe bend the copper slightly. But
Yeah,
anyway.
you can probably bend it back a little bit.
Yeah, I think I straightened it out.
But at
mostly.
least you've made positive contact.
Yep.
Okay, so now you can feed the actual BNC end on through the golden tip.
And then onto the shielding.
Yeah, and then you're going to keep feeding it all the way through onto the white and foil shielding.
Push it as far as it'll go.
Yep.
And then, okay.
You're going to comb all of that metal fiber shielding
Yep.
on over top of the BNC end.
Got it. So there's a bit of grip
Yeah.
on the base of the BNC end, and I'm just going to put this, whoops, and just kind of brush it back onto it.
Yep, yep.
Got it?
So now you should be able to feel the end of the cable. The gold tip should be just a little bit below the end of the end of the
Yep.
yeah. Okay,
I can
good.
see it in there,
If
yeah.
it feels like that, then on the BNC end, then you should have enough on there. But yeah, you just comb all the metal shielding back over top of that.
Yep.
You're going to drag the sleeve back up the cable.
Yep. Oh, that's tough. Okay, yep. No, that wasn't as tough as I thought. Okay, yep.
So once that's on there,
Yep.
there is only one, I think it's the biggest part of the crimping die.
Well, interestingly, it looks like the middle one is the biggest one. It looks like the one, there's three bigger ones.
Yes.
And there's a small, and then two that are very similar in size, but I think the middle one is, oh, it tells you right here, the middle one is the biggest. One is 1.178, the middle one is 0.278, and then the one closest to the handle is 0.255, so that's actually slightly smaller than the middle one.
Yeah, you'll want the one in the middle because it is the largest one. That seems to make the most positive crimp, and it's going to be tough.
I have to really give her, is what you're saying?
Yeah, in fact, what I usually do is you might not be able to do it on camera unless you've got really good grip strength, because I don't. I end up having to put it between my knees and squeeze.
Okay, and so for this, should I have it so that how far up on the shield should it, the ring, should it be should I basically leave no exposed,
Correct.
so it should be right up against the edge on the inside part of it?
That's correct. Yeah,
But-
because you want the whole sleeve to bite down on the connector and everything.
But when I do that, I'm looking, and the sleeve is there's maybe about 4 or 5 millimeters on the right side of the closer to the BNC end, that's not going to be crimped now because I've got the whole shield.
Oh yeah, you should try to have the crimping tool right up against.
Okay, so
the BNC end.
so it leaves some of that ridged edge uncrimped.
Correct.
basically. Got it.
Yeah. Don't
Okay.
know why, but that's how it's made.
Okay, so now I gotta just give her.
You bet.
Okay.
Hey.
So the trick that I just found there
Mm-hmm.
was pressing down on the table allowed me to just put my entire body weight into there. So that worked without me having to use my knees.
Excellent.
So there we go. So that's how you.
That should be one end, and
That's how you
hopefully.
make it. I'm not going to bother doing the other one on camera because I'm sure we have more entertaining things to do. But that was really informative and useful for me, and you did it without even looking at what I was doing. So that's
Yeah.
a good job, Beej.
That was great. Now
That was like some lovely golf claps.
I'm going to leave camera for a minute and go do something secret.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It involves a litter box.
Oh, jeez.
That was
Mute your mic.
that was so fascinating to me because like there's stuff I do a million times at my job that when people call me needing help doing it, I have to tell them to like send me pictures because I can never remember. He remembered the numbers on that one little yellow. He knew it was yellow and everything. Like that was amazing to me. And he's just sitting back there just like everything is muscle memory for me. So I'll be like, yeah, it's up at the top on the right. I'm not sure what it says. I think it says this. Send me a picture. I can tell you. But yeah, like
Super secret loading ready run information. Beej's job as manager of loading ready run is at least 41% crimping SDI cables.
I believe it.
But yeah, it was just so cool to me that he could do that just without even looking and knew it so well, so perfectly. I was just like, I'm amazed by this.
Well, they made me a little. Lord Hawks made me a little post. Thanks.
Oh.